यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Sri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 3 of 15th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Narupamasyeha tathopalabhyate Nanto na chadi na cha sampratishtha Ashwatthaменam suvirudhamulam asangashastrena dridhena chetva. So in our young age we might have heard about Vikramaditya's story. In that story there was a tree in which there was a Vedala. Vedala means a booth, a devil, or we can say Dracula, which was hanging. Every time Vikramaditya, the king who was called as Vikramaditya, he used to go to take a body, so one of his friends or relatives' body. Then that devil comes in front of him, it asks some questions. When he answers, then it takes the body again, it goes and hangs. This is how we were introduced about that tree. Usually, all tamarind trees were endowed with devils. It was the story which was created by our forefathers. Still I remember, so in my young age, there was a tamarind tree in our relatives, so where I used to go to spend my holidays, vacations. I didn't know why they said it, but they said, there was somebody who hanged on the tree. He was living in that tree. Therefore, I was prohibited to go to near that tamarind tree. After completing the college, I went back. Still that tamarind was there, tree was there. I went nearby. I climbed down because that tree was huge and beautiful. And I saw it and I enjoyed. I was having mentality to welcome even the travelers, devils, Sometimes you get bored with normal people, and when you become angry, you will have courage to meet even travelers, even meet Lord Yamas. Like this, the trees are given as the examples of evil things, good things. The neem trees, still now, it is said as the tree which is endowed with many auspiciousness. Therefore, I said, Vatavriksha means Dakshinamurti. Banyan tree means Dakshinamurti. Neem tree means female gods. In every temple of India, there must be some vriksha. We call it Thala Vrikshas. And those vrikshas will become popular with the temple. Even Badri Narayana, The Badri means there is one small fruit. I don't know how to say in English. So that fruit is a reddish in color. It looks like a berries. It's like a red berries. Like those trees were full of that sthala, means that place. Therefore, Badri Narayana sthala. Like, trees are playing a vital role in our life. Bhagavan also says, Ashwatha Sarvapriyananda. He says, I am the Ashwatha tree. But same Bhagavan describes about this unique tree. The tree which seems to be so unique, we might have not seen that tree. Even if you are a botany student knows the reality of a tree, the quality of the tree, still he cannot understand about this tree, the uniqueness of this tree, which can be experienced by every individual. You have your own tree, I have my own tree. Like that, everyone has their own tree. That tree is huge in size. Now, when I describe about the tree, we can understand the qualities of samsara, that which seems to be unending process. Nothing ends over there. No ending for longing, no ending for craving, no ending for enjoyments. If you are fond of rasagulla, rasmalai, you eat it, then you will get again the desire of rasagullas. There are rasagullas also available. If the rasagullas are not available, then you are ready to travel even 1,000 kilometers for that. At that time we play like a kid, So when mind needs to have drastically, you are able to travel, you are able to even do whatever it is needed. That's what this tree is. It's a unique tree. The tree like a devil, Dracula, and the tree which seems to be so smart enough it doesn't show in front of us, means which doesn't appear in front of us, because this tree is so subtle and it is connected with so many aspects in our life. Therefore, when you get an idea, the idea has got so many links with so many janmas. And one of my guru, who was a Sanskrit teacher, I met him in Kashi, Varanasi. I was looking for a proper Sanskrit teacher from whom I could have a proper Sanskrit grammar studies. Okay? Because the grammar studies are not available properly in South. If at all it is available, it is far from us. But in Kashi and Rishikesh, there are so many teachers. Among those teachers, the problem is they won't teach at all. Because after learning, they are satisfied. You cannot do business with them. You cannot do business with a person who is completely satisfied, because he becomes beyond business. That's what gunatitaha, you cannot do business. Unless if he does the business, if he is willingly wants to have the business, then alone you can do business with him. I was looking for the Sanskrit Acharya, but I was not getting from Rishikesh. Then I went to Delhi, I was not able to get. Then somebody told, in Varanasi I could get. Therefore, I went to Varanasi. I got a teacher who was born just next door to me. He was born 1 year before me. He left, the whole family left my city where I was born. Then they started living in Delhi. Then after that, his story is different. My story is different. But it has got connection. My God, that's what, you get connected with the people. Sometimes you get connection with the people who are abroad. Now you can find this internet is a samsara tree. Facebook is a samsara tree. And what is that? WhatsApp is a samsara tree. It has got so many connections. Now, I am not saying that Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitters and Instagram, they are samsara tree. They can be also good examples for samsara tree. All of them are launched brilliantly, We cannot get away from this Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, All of them are living the tubes. But we are satisfied by having, because the world is in my hand. That's what Vedanta says, your tree belongs to you. Nobody can own it because it's not visible. It is not known by you itself. Therefore, it's a wonder of the tree which is known as samsara to be realized. Only you can realize when you have the blessings of Ishvara, because he is a Mayavi. Mayantu prakritim vidyan mahinantu maheshvaraha. Otherwise, it's not at all possible. But only the thing is, this tree has to be slayed. Otherwise, it will keep eating you. We will becoming victim often. Every birth is victim. Every second we become victim for that tree. These explanations, which we find in Shastras, whenever there is an example regarding tree, means it has got proper method. That method which can be understood easily. That's what I want to say. We find this example from Kathopanishad. It looks the same, words. Adhaschodvam. Then there is an example from Undakopanishad which we saw. Dvasu paruna sayuja sakhaya tayor annam pipalam svatvati. So that's the example itself, it has got its own uniqueness. Now in the 10th chapter, Bhagavan said, Asashvatha Sarvapriyananda, in order to teach the glory of his Parinami Upadharana Karana Tattva. But here the same example is given to explain the samsara tree. There he explained in order to show the glory of him, means in order to understand the glory of Isvara, it was introduced there. But here Bhagavan himself, he introduces in order to understand the samsara. Samsara means the suffering which can be huge in size, vast in size. Therefore, we learned the similarity of this samsara and Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha tree which has got mahatvam, means vastness, hugeness. The samsara also has the vastness, hugeness. Then the second we got it adyantarahittatvam. Samsara tree, it seems to be unending, because one tree causes thousands of trees. Because one tree, that too especially Ashwatha tree, the seeds of Ashwatha tree can produce crores of trees, because every year there are seeds out of which the unending trees are possible. Like that, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, every thought which you potentially believe in it, which you are attached with, drastically attached with, it will bring one birth. Therefore, our forefathers said, don't have greedy attitude. When you become greedy, my God, because that would be, you are just placing many births, you are seeding for many births. The ahankara, which is the product of karma phala, which is victimized by samsara, that becomes the main portion of this tree, unending. Therefore, adyantarahittatvam, the second point which we saw as the similarity between Ashwatha and the samsaratvam. Then the third which we saw was moolatvam, moolavatvam, which has got root. Without root, there cannot be a tree. But this tree, which has the roots towards up means what? Which is beyond our vision, which is beyond our understanding, which cannot be reached, which cannot be understood. It doesn't matter how long you try, how intelligent you are, doesn't matter. We cannot. You may see a matured person, but he may have a silly weakness. You may find a great person, but who is having small weakness, like a Napoleon Bonaparte, who is afraid of cats. Can you believe it? He was a warrior, great warrior, having fear of cats. And I suppose Einstein, who had got memory problem, he was not able to recognize his home or other's house. That is what samsara is. You can find greatness from small person. You can also experience silly things from a great person. Sometimes you feel yourself so confident. Sometimes you feel yourself without, zero confidence. That is what the uniqueness of the samsaratvam. But it is connected. That roots are connected. That root which cannot be perceived, which cannot be understood by us. Therefore, this tree Means the root of this tree is called Ishvaraha. In many places, Bhagavan says, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mameva ye prapadyante Mayam etam tarantite. Now you have to realize, we have to understand. So, in order to demolish, in order to slay, in order to cut this huge tree, we should seek the help of Ishvara. Though the roots are not able to understood, but the author of the root can be contacted with a weapon called bhakti. So beautiful, isn't it? That's what Bhagavad Gita is. The 12th chapter, which launches beautifully what exactly the bhakti is. Bhakti, which is in the form of love, which can be a medium to communicate with Ishvara, who is unknown to all. That was the 4th point. Now today we are going to have 5th point. What are the similarities? By understanding the verse number 3, Asya na rupam asti tatha upalabhyate. The tree which doesn't have form but exists very much. Nobody can deny, I don't have this tree. Man, after understanding these verses, if you understand and apply it in gross way, you can see everyone, in the form of tree. Or there is a background, tree like. Just I'm making fun but it is reality. We don't know the man, he is connected with how many realities. Therefore, the parents, they have very challenging task is to select bride or groom, because you cannot judge a person. You are just having, because what is appeared as a face, as a characteristic, as a personality, it's like, getting a leaf as a sample in order to judge the whole Ashwatha tree. You cannot understand the vastness, and you cannot understand the connectivity which it has. But only one route is to measure, to judge somehow about the characteristic of that tree is the astrology, which can help you to realize that science, even it belongs to one of the 6 limbs of Shastra, Jodidham. Otherwise, the human mind doesn't have the capacity to even understand the vastness of this tree, which doesn't have rupa. That's what he says, Sakhavatvam. Branches. In a life, even a person who was a chaiwala has become prime minister. That is the uniqueness, the great example. Because God, there is Ishvara. Ishvaratvam made. The person who was born as a pauper, a very poor family in which he was born, becomes trillionaire, like a tycoon. We cannot understand the glory of this tree. It makes a poor person into a trillionaire, and the billionaire becomes pauper. Everything can happen because the connectivity is Sakhavatam, having many branches. Now, how many people you meet in your life? How many people come into contact in your life? Sometimes it happens very unique things, We are not aware about the neighbors, but we are aware about the people who are abroad. That is the uniqueness of this tree. Your tree is different because you have branches here according to your karma phala. That branches, you don't know where and all it is going to get connected with, where and all it is going to grow. So many branches. Therefore, when you establish any organizations, NGO or non-NGO, doesn't matter. It should have a strongest root. The corruption. Corruption is the tree. We don't know what is the root of it, where and all the branches are available. It's very difficult to find it. Nantona chadir nacham sampratithta. That's what, It's the challenging job to realize this tree. Then the sixth one is Parnavatvam. Parnavatvam means what? The tree which has got crores of leaves. Can you count leaves of a people tree? My God, you need to have at least years for it. We need to find some device for it. Every leaf, it has got its own long history. It becomes the part of the tree, then finally it goes and other leaf comes again. Parnavatvam, so many varieties in the form of experiences, varieties in the form of features of body. The father has got different nature, father has got different feature. The son who comes out of him, he has got different features. The 5 fingers of a hand, it is not similar. And this, this thumb impression, which is not similar among the brothers, among this family itself, it's unique. Shaka, Parnavatvam. Parnavatvam means it's more variety than Shaka. Branches means it's a connectivity. Parnavatvam means uniqueness. And every features which we have in our life, it has got its own uniqueness. Everything seems to be separate, but they are connected with the branches. So uniqueness of samsara. Because many people are connected and many people are dropped, adapted again. People go and come. That is the reality of their life. So one of my acharya who said, these leaves are symbolizing the phase. Every second phase, it is replaced like leaf. If you have punya and good, that blissful phase, the grace will be replaced. Every second is like a leaf. Every action is like a leaf. Every thoughts are like leaves. Then finally is Palavatvam. That we will see in the next class tomorrow. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaja Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.